So next up in All Cops Are Bastards, check this out. The case of the mugshot with the missing tattoos concludes on hopeful note. It's like hitting the lottery. What? Portland police altered the mugshot photo of a bank robbery suspect, painting over all his tattoos before showing them to tellers for identification, but never documented the changes in their reports. The attorney argued for a sentence of time served for the convicted serial bank robber with a lengthy criminal record. She urged the judge to consider the defendant's progress while on release over the last 3 years and not simply his extensive rap sheet. She noted the man has the potential to steer others in Portland away from a life of gangs, drugs, and crime. What the fuck is this article? She also stressed it would be too risky for the government to present the charges to a jury because the prosecution relied solely on eyewitness testimony. This was the case that gained national notoriety after police manipulated the defendant's mugshot to remove his tattoos to more closely resemble the holdup suspect. And the lawyer arguing all of this before a federal judge, to the surprise of most everyone in the courtroom, an assistant U.S. attorney overseeing the prosecution of Tyrone Lamont Allen. Allen's supporters looked on in stunned silence from the public gallery before the judge allowed the 52-year-old man to walk with no prison time. It's like hitting the lottery. You never see this happen with a black man in this kind of lengthy criminal record, said Michael Fesser, who grew up with Allen and had his own well-known history with Oregon's justice system. Again, justice system. All these fucking words that they use. Justice system? Right? This is a justice system? Photoshopping someone so that they can be misidentified, that's a justice system? The Thin Blue Line gang of military terrorist occupiers is not, in any capacity, even remotely related to a justice system. For the past year, Allen has worked with Fesser's program called Going Home 2 to help men after they get out of prison. There's no words for it, said Herman Green, a local pastor and newly elected Portland school board member. Maybe, just maybe, the system is about to change. People have been saying that for fucking hundreds of years. I guarantee you it's not going to change anytime soon. Allen pleaded guilty to 4 bank and credit union heists that occurred in less than a week, 1 each on April 3rd and 4th, and 2 on April 7th, 2017. He wore hooded sweatshirts, glasses, and ball caps to obscure his appearance and covered up his distinctive facial tattoos, according to prosecutors. He approached tellers, demanded money, and threatened that he had a gun, they said. Bank robbery counts, blah, blah, blah. Time served as a stunning outcome, blah, 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 blah. I just want to, again, I don't care. Why would someone rob a bank? Probably because they've got financial issues. Why do they have financial issues? Because we live in a capitalist dystopian hellhole. Right, now again, do I endorse robbing a bank? No. But, that being said, I don't really care if someone robs a bank. What I care about is the state doing criminal acts to try to get convictions. This is criminal. Photoshopping someone's face to try to make it easier to get them convicted, that is criminal. That is not justice. It isn't. I'm sorry, it's not. Like, now, if you want to provide, let's say, both of these photos and say that, well, the suspect was covering tattoos, so we made it look, that's one thing. But if you're just going to show one version of the photo and not the full story, again, I'm sorry, but it's just indicative of what else have they been doing. How many other times have they photoshopped people's faces? If this is just in their toolbox, their array of tools that they use, right? Oh, how do we get this conviction? We'll Photoshop that one. We'll do that one. We'll do that. We'll plant drugs on that one. Right? Like, again, you need to understand, this behavior should not be tolerated in a justice system. In a justice system. This isn't like fucking Timmy in 4th grade learning how to use Photoshop and trying to, like, you know, set up their friend to be the someone who stole the caramel apple off of the teacher's desk. That's not what this is. This is someone facing real jail time. Sure, they may have done things that should be criminal. Maybe. All right. But this is not how you achieve justice. Because, again, we live in a society where if you fuck with a court case, you're not going to get justice. Right? If what they did was so criminal and so easily convictable, why go across this line to fuck up the case? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So I don't give a shit. Robbing banks, whatever. Did he kill anyone? If not, I don't give a shit. That's just my perspective. What I care about here is how police engage in these prosecutions. The relationship between the police and the district attorneys and the prosecutors that try these cases, right? How many of the DAs and prosecutors and all these other lawyers know that the police are falsifying records and making these changes, making these illegal changes to people's records and to the evidence and all that kind of stuff? Who knows the extent of their relationship? Because when this stuff comes out, it's like roaches. You see one, there has to be 75. Because why else would you see one if they're not trying to run away from the other 75 of them, right? If you see this one case, this is indicative of probably thousands and thousands of similar situations where they just didn't get caught. And this is why we need a full audit of all law enforcement agencies. Again, the Thin Blue Line Sleeper Cell terror organization has been running rampant for fucking hundreds of years. Again, they started off as slave patrols. These are organizations that used to catch slaves and return them to enslave, I don't need, again, you need to understand the history of law enforcement is just horrible, right? And it's a through line. It has not gotten any less horrible, right? You need to understand. It has not gotten less horrible. It's just their propaganda skills have gotten better. Right? They've gotten better at convincing people that they're not slave patrols. Again, the 13th Amendment specifically has an exemption for those that are found guilty of felony convictions. Why? Then, did all of a sudden they start changing the law so everything and anything is a felony conviction? Also, look at the drug war. Again, the drug war, the Controlled Substances Act, was initially started by the Nixon administration, quote, to target the blacks and the hippies. Why would they want to do that? Because they know that they can cull the population of undesirables by criminalizing certain behaviors that certain groups are more likely to engage in. And then again, law enforcement is selective. I've walked down the street smoking weed all the damn time. Cops have seen me, they've acknowledged that I'm smoking weed, and they've done nothing. Whereas black people going down the street, if they're smoking weed while they're walking home from a rough day at work, right, and a cop sees them, they will be waking up in a jail cell somewhere after getting their shit beaten in. This is a disgusting system here of selective enforcement, right? Enforcement is optional. All enforcement is optional. And you need to understand, when you create a law, who is going to get the brunt of that law? Who is going to have that law enforced on them the hardest? It is the populations that have always been having people spit on them since the inception of this fucking country. And again, we need to just dismantle these terror organizations. Absolutely. They need to go the fuck away. Again, 80% of cops voted for Trump. 40% of cops beat their wives. What? If you look at any of those statistics from actual criminal gangs, right? People whatever criminal gang you want to think of when you think of a gang, right? Do you think 40% of those criminal gangs participants beat their wives? Do you think 80% of them voted for a literal fucking fascist orange man? The police are more violent. They're more hateful. They're more ideologized or whatever the fuck, they're radicalized in their far-right white supremacist beliefs than any or other criminal gang, cartel, or whatever organization you want to refer to when you think of criminal organized crime. The biggest criminal syndicate in the world are police departments. Full stop. That's it. That's all you need to know. And again, if the conviction was such a slam dunk, why go the extra mile? Why fuck up the case? It's because they don't care.